The party's winding down and people start to leave. The room grows thin with coats and keys and things retrieved. And then across the emptying and amber-lit expanse, I find you standing there, and suddenly there's nothing left to chance. Because some moments have a gravity all their own. Some eyes across the room can make you feel less alone than 20 years of being fine and managing and right. And I found that kind of moment in your eyes tonight. I don't know your name yet, but I know your face was made for exactly this kind of late and amber-lit and rain outside the window kind of night. I don't know your story yet, but I know I want to, in the way that you want something that you know will change the shape of all your life. There's a midnight in your eyes that I wanna get lost in tonight. There's a midnight in your eyes that makes everything right. Every shadow, every secret, every dark and lovely thing. There's a midnight in your eyes, and I wanna know what morning means when I've been lost in you all night, in you all night. You tilted your head when I finally crossed the room, like you had been expecting me to come there soon. Like this was something both of us had known before it happened, before either of us had even spoken. You said my name the way that names are meant to sound when they are found by someone who has finally found the person that the name belongs to, whole and clear. And I said yours back slowly, just to keep it here in my mouth, in this moment before the world comes back. Outside the rain is writing something on the street, something about the way that certain people meet at the exact right moment of the exact right night, when everything inside them finally gets to be right. There's a midnight in your eyes, every star I've never named. There's a midnight in your eyes, and I will never be the same from this moment and December, from this rain and this room. There's a midnight in your eyes, and I am stepping in completely, willingly into you, into the midnight of you. I have been in rooms before, I have met eyes across the spaces, I have had the conversation that goes it, that you know before you know it, that you fall before you've fallen. This is the kind of night that you remember when you're old, when you're trying to explain to someone young what love felt like the first time you tell them about a room and a party winding down in the rain, and a pair of eyes that had midnight in them, and how you crossed the whole expanse of your entire life in 20 steps. There's a midnight in your eyes that I have fallen into whole. There's a midnight in your eyes that is now a part of my soul. Every room I'm in from now on will be measured by this one. There's a midnight in your eyes, and I am undone, completely, gratefully, beautifully undone by the midnight in your eyes, by you, by you, by you. The party's winding down and people start to leave. The room grows thin with coats and keys and things retrieved. And then across the emptying and amber-lit expanse, I find you standing.
We never talked about forever. We just talked about tonight. And every night became another, till the days outweigh the light. You'd say my name like a question, I'd answer like a prayer. We were building something careful on foundations made of air. Maybe we were more than maybe, maybe less than I believed. But somewhere in that in-between was where I loved you most, it seemed. Somewhere between hello and goodbye was where we lived and didn't ask why. In the hallway of almost and nearly there, with your hand in mine and your scent in the air. We never said the word we meant, we just held on where the feeling went. Somewhere between hello and goodbye is where I'll find you if I close my eyes. still stain the shelf. I keep the light on in the kitchen, as if you might come home yourself. We were good at almost loving. We were fluent in the gray, and every morning felt like either could be our first or final day. Still translating what you meant to say, still lost inside the haze. Somewhere between hello and goodbye is where we lived and didn't ask why. In the hallway of almost and nearly there, with your hand in mine and your love in the air. We never said the word we meant. We just held on where the feeling went. Somewhere between hello and goodbye is where I love you for the rest of my life. Didn't notice how you always hung while doing dishes in the evening sun. I didn't notice that you had a song for every ordinary thing you'd done. I didn't notice how you took your tea, 2 sugars and a little bit of me, always asking, should I make you one, before I'd even thought of wanting some. I was always looking somewhere past the moment, always somewhere past the beautiful. And now the beautiful is gone, and I am left here with the list of everything I missed, of everything I was too full of life to feel. Before you were gone, I didn't know. Before you were gone, I didn't know good from bad. I only knew the habit, never learned the word. Before you were gone, I didn't know. and just be near me without need to show. The kind of love that doesn't make announcements, the kind that's just the air inside a room, the kind you breathe so deeply and so daily you forget that breathing keeps you from the tomb. Before you were gone, I forgot to love. Before you were gone, I forgot to look at the way you left, at the way you moved. Before you were gone, I forgot to learn every single thing about you. Every single thing about you. If I could have one ordinary Tuesday back, just one, I wouldn't waste it being somewhere else in my head. I'd sit across from you at breakfast, and I'd actually see your face. Not the idea of you, not the distracted half of me that was always somewhere else. I'd see the way the morning light hit your hair at 7:15. I'd memorize the way you held your cup, the way you read without your glasses, squinting at the page. I'd notice everything. I'd notice everything. I'd hold it all so carefully, and when the day was done, I'd say it out loud. Every single thing I noticed, every single thing I loved, before it had the chance to become. Before you were gone. Before you were gone, I should have said every word I carried left unsaid. I love the way you hummed, I love the way you stayed. Before you were gone, I should have been more awake, more present, more here, more yours. So much more yours. Before you were gone, I didn't know that ordinary moments are the ones that make a life, that make a life, that make a life worth living. Before you were gone, I didn't know how much I loved being yours. Yours, yours. Before you were gone, I was yours. I was always yours. I threw my bags into the trunk at dawn, left the key beneath the mat and moved along. Didn't say a word to anyone I knew, just the highway and drove through. The radio kept finding songs that stung, all the good ones from when we were young. So I turned it off and let the engine speak, the only honest voice I've had all week. But the miles don't erase what the memory keeps. The open road can't outrun what's buried deep. I've been driving since the morning, still no closer to the version of myself from before you. Miles of empty road, and I still feel the weight. Miles of empty road, but I can't outrun fate. Every white line passing, every small town crossed, still miles of empty road and everything I lost. I stopped at some motel in Tennessee, paid cash and didn't give my real name free. Sat beside the window in the dark, listening to the highway in my heart. The trucker in the next room had his TV on, something about love that had gone wrong. I almost knocked to tell him that I understood that some things sound better understood. But strangers don't need strangers, and they're green. Broken men don't always find relief in talking. Sometimes silence is the only road that bears the full and terrible weight of a load. Miles of empty road, just the engine and the night. Miles of empty road, no destination right. Every exit number, every county line, still miles of empty road, still yours, still mine. Somewhere past the Georgia line, the sky turned pink and golden fine. And for one honest moment in that light, everything felt bearable and right. I pulled over at the shoulder of the world, watched the sun come up slow and unfurl. And I thought maybe distance isn't the answer, but standing still was killing me back there. So I'll drive until the driving teaches something, until the road runs out of road to give. Because motion is the only kind of prayer that a man like me knows how to live. Miles of empty road, but I'm still moving through. Miles of empty road. The clock says two, but my body says forever. The ceiling has become my closest friend tonight. I've turned the pillow 17 times over, and none of them have made the wanting right. The rain is at the window like a messenger, tapping out a code I almost understand. And all the code is saying is your name again. And every drop that hits the glass and runs. I've been here before in all the midnights. I've been restless for 100 different reasons, but this particular restless has your fingerprints on every thought, and nothing in my arsenal of sleep has worked against it. Rain against the glass is the sound of wanting you. Rain against the glass is every midnight truth. Every thought I think at 2 a.m. has your name somewhere inside it. Rain against the glass is the only voice I trust when it comes to you. When it comes to you, it always comes to you. I've had this conversation with myself before, the one where I decide that I should say what I have been collecting in the quiet for the longest and most restless nights away. The morning always makes it seem excessive. Morning makes the wanting look like weakness, so I swallow it with coffee and the ordinary and become a man who's fine, who's always fine. But it's not morning now, it's 2 a.m. and weakness is a word that doesn't mean much here in the dark, where everything is honest, where the rain says everything I've been afraid to say. Oh yeah, rain against the glass. All night it speaks for me. Rain against the glass says everything I need to say to you, but daylight steals the courage, night returns the truth. Rain against the glass is my love letter to you, written in the water, written on the dark, written on the window of my heart. If you could hear it, if you could hear the rain from wherever you are sleeping right now. If you could hear the way it says your name against my window, against the cold November glass, would you know it was for you? Would you turn over in your sleep
says forever. The ceiling has become my closest friend tonight. I've turned the pillow 17 times over, and none of them have made the wanting right. The rain is at the window like a messenger.
Rain was hitting the window glass. The cab was waiting down the path. You stood there holding your own hands, like a stranger in your own homeland. I said the words I'd practiced long. They came out hollow, came out wrong. You nodded, slowly turned away, and I let the silence have its say. And every second slowed to nothing. Every heartbeat said do something, but I just stood there in the hall and let you walk beyond the wall. The night I let you go, I didn't know what I was losing. I thought that I was choosing right. I thought that I was strong enough to fight. The night I let you go, the rain came down without an answer. The city swallowed up your lies, and I've been searching ever since that night. The night I let you go. I told myself it was the time, that love alone don't make a line, that sometimes right is not enough, that sometimes good can fall apart, but all the logic in the world can't warm the cold of what unfurled. When morning came and you weren't there, just the shape of you still in the air. Would you have stayed if I had asked? Would you have taken off the mask of someone ready to be free? Was any part of you still needing me? I'll never know, and that's the weight I carry now, from state to state, the question with no clean reply. Was it over, or did I say goodbye too soon? Too soon, too soon.
to stay. That night I'd never let you go.
The apartment's dark except the street light through the blind. It cuts across the ceiling in a pattern I can find. At 3 a.m. when everything that held me has let go, and all I have is wanting you with nowhere left to go. I've counted all the reasons this is foolish and is wrong. I've written them and burned them, and I've hummed them like a song. But desire doesn't answer to the rational and clear. Desire only answers in the dark, and you are here. But I am in the fire of a longing for your voice that swallows every reason and leaves nothing but the choice to reach into the darkness and admit what I have been carrying through every day, like that I should have said long since. Desire in the dark is the most honest thing I know. Desire in the dark is where the real feelings go. When the daylight's done pretending and the night tells what is true, my desire in the dark is reaching out for you. Always reaching out for you. I found your number written on a paper in my coat, the one I wore the night you leaned across and wrote it slowly with a smile that said you knew exactly what you were beginning and what doors were being shut. I'm
I know better than to call tonight, but the knowing and the doing are two different kinds of fight. And I am losing one of them in this dark apartment with the street light on the ceiling and your name inside my mouth. I am losing the one that says, be careful, be considered, be the man who doesn't reach. I am losing it to the one that says some things are worth the reaching, even when, especially when the reaching teaches everything you missed. Desire in the dark, I am done pretending otherwise. Desire in the dark is alive behind my eyes. And the morning can have its reason, and the daylight its control. But the desire in the dark is the truest part of me. I still remember the October light, the way you caught your hair that afternoon. You laughed at something small and unimportant, and something in my chest moved like the moon. I didn't know that I was memorizing the way you held your coffee with both hands, the way your sentences would trail to nothing, and you were trying hard to understand. I was storing you away without knowing every detail, like the painting I was growing in the gallery of all I'd come to lose. Before I ever knew that I could lose you, before you were a memory, you were everything I'd ever need. Before the last goodbye was said, you lived inside my chest instead of anywhere I couldn't reach. Before you were a memory, you were color, you were light in me. Now every photograph's a door to the life we almost lived before. You were a memory. We had a summer and a half of golden, of rooftop nights and laughing past the dark. We built the kind of ordinary magic that only broken people recognize as art. But autumn came the way that seasons always do, without permission, without still falling. I find you in the way the cold hits the air. Maybe that is grace, maybe that is grief, maybe they were always the same thing, wearing different faces on different days, in different seasons, but both of them are teaching me to see. Before you were a memory, you were teaching me to finally see that love is not a thing we keep, it's something that we plan and read and let go of eventually. Before you are a memory, you are the best of what could be, and now I carry what we were like a song beneath the blur of everything that's come since then. Before you were a memory, you were real, you were real to me. Before you were a memory, you were here, you were here, you were here with me.
You love with both your hands wide open, nothing held, nothing broken. You gave the way the rivers give, without asking how, without asking if. You leave a note beside the mirror, make the small things feel much clearer. Your silence was a kind of song, the kind that stayed when you were gone. I've met others since the leaving. They were good and worth believing, but nobody loved the way you did. Nobody loved the way you did. I still remember how you loved, with your whole self, nothing above. The way you'd hold a broken thing and make it feel worth mending. I still remember every touch, the ordinary, everyday stuff, the love that didn't need to shout. That's the love I can't live without. I still remember how you love. You love the way the old songs do, slow and warm and tried and true. You never needed grand gestures, just your hand in quiet measures. Early mornings, late night talking, side by side and sometimes walking. Nothing perfect, nothing planned, just you and your open hand. I don't know if love is something that we find or something coming, but I know that what you gave me left a shape inside that saved me. And though the years have rearranged things and the world has never stopped its changing, there's a room inside my heart where you love me from the start. I still remember how you loved with your whole self, nothing above. The way you'd hold a broken thing, make it feel worth mending. Oh, I still remember every touch, the ordinary, everyday stuff, the love that didn't need to shout. Oh, that's the love I still dream about. I still remember how you love. Summer rain is falling on the boulevard. We were young enough to think love wasn't hard. Your denim jacket hanging off my chair, and that old cassette still playing everywhere. We used to drive till the sunrise came alive, two runaway hearts trying to survive. No destination, no map, no plan, just your fingers wrapped around my head. Back then the world felt wide and free, like nothing could ever break you and me. Broken wings and radio dreams, that's all we were in those days. Running wild through endless nights, trying to find our place. And even though life changed everything, I still hear your voice in me, like an old slow rock melody. Broken wings and radio dreams. Now these city nights feel colder than before. Different faces walking through revolving doors.
like you never